In this video, I'll demonstrate how to use the new feature WinCross Analytical Intelligence, or AI, to automatically create your tables. To begin, I'm going to open a recently opened data file. Next, I'm going to create a new job. For this example, I will be using the default profile settings. Upon creating a new job, we will already be in the Express Tables from Variable Data window. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a new tab, Auto. Auto is where our new feature of WinCross Analytical Intelligence, or AI, is stored. This allows you to automatically create tables based on the structure of your data and the properties that you have set in place. For this demonstration, we're going to go over two different methods of creating tables. The first method is stepping through your data, and the second method would be creating your tables using the auto create, which creates all of your tables with one click. To begin, it's recommended to go through your properties and adjust all the settings to your desired output. For example, if we select on properties, we have 4 tabs: rating scale, single response, multiple response, and open ends. The rating scale is all the different options specifically related to rating scale questions. For example, our 5-point scale here, we can see that we have a top 2 box and a bottom 2 box that will automatically be added, as well as the text that will be used for creating the top 2 box, bottom 2 box. We have other scales that you can adjust. And on the right hand side, you can control the location of summary tables. For example, in rating scale questions, you'll have your individual tables and your summary tables. You can choose whether to have the summary tables after the individual tables or before the individual tables. By default, the summary tables are before the individual tables. For example, let's say we want to have the summary tables be after the individual tables. So we'll go ahead and check the box, add summary tables after the rating scale question tables. You can also control the location of the nets on the table. We'll go over to single response. We have a few different single response options you can add: multiple response and open ends. You can also turn off creation of open ends entirely. Near the bottom here, we have a few different global options that apply to all tables: so rating scale, single response, multiple response, and open ends. The one to note here is our suppress tables that exceed row count. If a variable exceeds 200 rows, it will not be created. This can be adjusted to any number you want. We'll go and click OK. So using the step through method, we're going to go ahead and select Find Next first. WinCross will find the first variable that qualifies for a table. You'll notice that respond ID was skipped. Some variables such as respond ID, zip code, variables that you typically would not create a table for will automatically be skipped. And if a table is skipped due to it exceeding the row limit that you have set in properties, a warning will appear. So our first qualifying variable here is region. We'll notice in the bottom right hand corner, we have a preview for the table that will be added. This is just your basic single response questions. We'll go ahead and add this table. And then we'll select Find Next. Get to our next question, question 1. Question 1, on average, how many hours per week do you spend participating in outdoor activities? You'll notice here that WinCross automatically added the midpoints for us. So if we have a mean on this table, which we do, it'll use the correct value to calculate the mean and any statistics. If you look at the bottom of the table, you can also see that mean row was added as well. This is coming from the property, so if you wanted to add standard deviation, standard error, a median, or any other statistics, you can control that by adding in the properties. Let's go ahead and add this table. And we'll select Find Next. Our next variable set here is question 2. We can see that this is an attribute type question. We have 10 different attributes. So if we look at our preview here, we can see agreement with the following statement: I consider myself an outdoors person. We have a scale here. It's a 4-point scale with strongly agree. The scale's automatically been reversed for us, so strongly agrees at the top, down to strongly disagree at the bottom. We can also see that 2 nets have been added: the top 2 box net and the bottom 2 box net. This is again coming all from the property section. Looking at our second table, our second attribute, we can say the use feature has already been applied for us. So we no longer have to go ahead and manually apply that. So the use feature is already applied. So all the settings on table 1 will be used for the rest of the tables as well. If I continue scrolling through these tables, I'll eventually get to our summary tables. So we have a top 2 box summary table here, bottom 2 box summary table, a mean summary table. Once we're happy with these tables, we'll go ahead and add these as well. And let's go ahead and select Find Next. Our next question here is question 3. This is our first multiple response type question. So this is just your basic multiple response, checked, unchecked, yes, no type question. Which of the following do you do weekly? Send or read email, read news or current events, etc. If I scroll over to the logic here, we can see the variables. such as Q3_1 is a 1, Q3_2 is 1, etc. So this is your typical multiple response type question. This looks good, so we'll select add. We'll do find next again. Our next question is question 4. This is another range scale type question. The difference here is this one is a 11-point scale question, so it's an NPS type question. We have question 4, importance to you for the following: having access to Arizona parks. We can see here we have our promoters net at the top of the table. Then our scale goes from 10, very important, down to 0, very unimportant. We also have our passives net and our detractors net. In addition to, since WinCross realized this is an NPS type question, we also have the net promoter score added at the bottom of the table. And our additional attribute questions also have the use statement applied. Now we'll select add. So using the step through method, we would continue going through the question by question, selecting find next. You can make changes as you go. Another method of creating tables is using the auto create. So for this example, I'm going to delete all of our existing tables that we've already created, so we can start over. Let's delete these tables. For this example here, I'm going to go to the beginning of our variables. And we have the option that's underneath the properties auto create. So if I select auto create, using the properties, WinCross is going to go through every single variable of the data file and automatically create the tables for us. So if I look over on my upper right hand side here, we can see our region table has been added. Question 1, on average, how many hours per week, etc. And it goes through our entire data file. So at this point, we can go through and do any text changes or any edits that we need to for the tables and remove the tables that we don't want. In addition to having the auto create and the find next, we can also preview tables as you go. So when you have a table selected, we have a preview option, which will preview the table in total, or we can also apply a banner variable. So if I do banner variable, let's say I select region, and I select OK. Make this a little bigger here. We can see exactly what the table will look like. And with that, that concludes this tutorial. Thank you for watching this video, and take a look at our other videos.